Good morning, dear students. A warm welcome to all of you for our today's digital session for the subject Science and Technology Section A. In our previous session, we have already started with the chapter Effects of Electric Current, a chapter from Physics. We have studied how energy transfer takes place in an electric circuit. From that, we had come out with the result of Joule's law of heating, and we have studied the unit of electrical power. Then we had started with heating effect of electric current. We had seen the number of electrical devices which make use of this concept of heating effect of electric current. We have seen many examples like electric bulb, electric cooker. Then two different concepts were studied. One is short circuit and the other overloading of the circuit. And we had seen various types of fuses in our daily use and what is the use of this fuse. Today we are going to proceed with the next effect of electric current, that is magnetic effect of electric current, and we are going to see the basic introduction to electric motor. So let's start with the next effect after heating effect, that is magnetic effect of electric current. Now here you can see a small setup of a figure. You can see the figure here. We are going to see if an electric current and magnetic field are related to each other. Connect the circuit as shown in the figure. All of you have studied in the previous standard, in the 9th standard, how an electrical circuit is set up. Connect a copper wire thicker and straight as compared to the connecting wires between points A and B. Connect a copper wire thicker and straight as compared to the connecting wires. You know which are the connecting wires between points A and B. Keep a magnetic needle. In your lower standards, you have studied about magnetic needle adjacent to the wire. You can see this magnetic needle is placed adjacent to the wire. Keep the plug key open in the circuit and observe the direction of the needle. Next, close the plug key and observe the direction of the needle. You have studied in the previous standard all the different, you can say, uses of plug key, the connection of electric circuit, how the copper wire, what are connecting wires, what is the use of open plug key, what happens when the plug key is closed. So all that knowledge you are going to apply in this topic. What do you notice? After this, you are going to interchange the connecting wires which are connected to the cell. All of you know what is a cell, what is a battery, and observe the direction of magnetic field. Do you notice any relation between the direction of current and the position of the needle? You can see here clearly here the position of the needle. Here you can see north west, whereas here you can see north east. Means what change is seen? Deflection is seen when the electric current passes through the circuit. The magnetic field effect is observed because of the current in the wire. Means the magnetic needle which was in a different position, it got deflected when current was flowing through the circuit. What does this indicate? That electricity and magnetism are closely related to each other. Means the flowing current in the circuit causes a deflection in the magnetic needle which is in the vicinity, which is adjacent to the electric circuit. Now, Hans Christian Ørsted was one of the scientists who played an important role in understanding this concept of electromagnetism. What do you mean by electromagnetism? Electromagnetism means the presence of electricity which brings about the effect of magnetism. Here you can see magnetism, the deflection is seen because of the passage of current in the circuit. In 1820, he observed that when current passes through the metal wire, here also you can see the use of plug key. The magnetic needle near the wire turns through a certain angle. I had asked you, do you notice any relation between the moving of the needle? Yes, the movement of the needle you can see from the direction in the change. You can see this rhombus type over here, and here it has moved on the other direction. This movement was due to the presence of current flowing through the circuit, and this was discovered by the scientist Hans Christian Ørsted. Now, purposely he did not set up this experiment. He was doing some experiment with the electric circuit, and unfortunately one magnetic needle was placed somewhere near it, and he found out that when electric current passed through the wire, immediately the needle showed deflection, and then he derived that yes, there was a relationship between electricity and magnetism. Today's advanced technology is developed as a consequence of his discovery, and in his honor, the unit of intensity of the magnetic field is termed as Ørsted. In honor of his work, the unit of intensity of magnetic field is termed as Ørsted. So, the passage of electric current which brings about magnetism, this total concept is known as electromagnetism, and there are many devices in our day-to-day life which are based upon this concept. Even if you take small examples in your day-to-day life, the electric doorbell, your electric motor, loudspeakers, all these are the different devices which make use of this magnetic effect of electric current. So what you can say, this discovery of Hans Christian Ørsted has played a very important role. It has proved to term, as we can say, an advancement in the field of science today. After this, we are going to move towards our next topic, that is right hand thumb rule. Now here the very first word you can see is imagine. Imagine that you have held the conductor in your right hand. All of you know from the previous standard that conductor means a wire, in such a way that your thumb points in the direction of current. Now here very important thing is that the conductor which you are holding is carrying a current through it. Why the word imagine? Now you understood. Because the conductor is carrying current through it. So imagine. Otherwise, if you really hold a current carrying conductor, I do not have to explain what will be the consequences. So imagine that you have held the conductor in your right hand in such a way that your thumb points in the direction of current. You can see this is the thumb, and these are the four fingers which are coiled around the current carrying conductor. This thumb is pointing towards the direction of current. Then turn your fingers around the conductor. Already these fingers I have told you, they are coiled around the conductor. The direction of the fingers is the direction of magnetic lines of force. You can see this magnetic lines of force which are generated when current flows through a conductor. So, what does the right hand thumb rule indicate? That when you have held the current carrying conductor in your right hand, the thumb points in the direction of current, whereas the direction of the curled fingers around the conductor, they point towards the direction of magnetic lines of force. Now, when this question is asked in the exam, state the right hand thumb rule. Very important thing is that you have to draw the diagram. Diagram drawing is necessary even though they don't ask you to draw the diagram. It can be asked for 2 marks, or one more way the question can be asked is, this diagram will be provided to you and you will be asked which type of rule does this diagram indicate and state the rule. Then first 1 mark is for which type of rule indicates right hand thumb rule, and next 1 mark will be for writing the entire rule. So these are the different ways by which questions can be asked in the exam. Now we move to the next topic, that is magnetic field, which is produced by current through a circular loop of a conducting wire. Now we are going to study the magnetic lines of force of the field produced by a current flowing through a loop made by bending the straight wire. You can see a conductor loop here. It is made by bending. Whenever you take any straight wire or something and you bend it in a form of a circle, it becomes a loop. A circuit is completed by connecting various components as shown in the figure. Now you can see, for completing the circuit, you can see a battery is there over here. You can see an ammeter which is placed, a circular loop mounted on a cardboard. So you have to complete the circuit as shown in the figure. If the current passes through the loop, now you know, as soon as the circuit is connected, the cell will be supplying the current. If the current passes through the loop, magnetic lines of force are produced at each point on the loop. At each point on the loop, you will find the magnetic lines of force are produced. As we go away from the wire, the concentric circles representing this concentric circles, you know geometry, concentric circles, the circles which are seen one after the other, which represent the magnetic lines of force, will become more and more bigger. So as we go away from the wire, take the concept of magnetic needle. If the needle is moved more and more away from the electric circuit, the deflection seen will be less. So here also, as we go away from the wire, the concentric circles representing the magnetic lines of force will become bigger and bigger. Now, as you go towards the center of the loop, the circle becomes so big that its arc can be shown as a straight line. Again, application of geometry. The magnetic lines of force are shown near points P and Q. You can see these points, center of the loop. However, they will be created near each point on the loop. At each point on the loop, the magnetic lines of force can be clearly seen and they are created. Likewise, each point will produce magnetic field at the center of the loop. Means the magnetic lines of force are created near each point on the loop. So each point on the loop will produce magnetic field at the center of the loop. What does this tell you? So by applying the right hand thumb rule, which we have just now studied, check that at every point on the loop, it contributes the magnetic lines of force at the center, and these lines of force at the center of the loop are in the same direction. You can see their direction. It is same. Here you can see the lines are formed along the same direction. The intensity of magnetic field at any point. What do you mean by intensity? Strength. The strength of magnetic field at any point produced by a current flowing through a wire is dependent on the current. You know, this magnetic lines of force, they are created how? Due to the passage of current through this circuit. What does this mean? That if there are n turns in the loop, n number of turns are present, the magnetic field n times of that produced by a single loop will be created. You have studied last year for resistance in series and resistance in parallel. So for 2-3 resistors, for the effective resistance of series combination is R1 plus R2 plus R3. But if there are n number of resistors, we had found out plus Rn. Similarly, here also if there are n turns in the loop, then the magnetic field which is produced will be n times more than that which is produced by a single loop. So this is the concept when magnetic field produced by a current flowing through a circular loop which is formed of a conducting wire by bending a conducting wire. Now next we are going to see the magnetic field due to current in a solenoid. Just now we have seen magnetic field due to a current through a circular loop. Now we are going to see magnetic field due to current in a solenoid. Before moving ahead, we are going to see what a solenoid means. A coil of many turns of insulated copper wire wrapped in the shape of a cylinder. For example, you take your finger and see here. You wrap a thread around your finger and very slowly if you remove that entire cylindrical part from your finger, whatever cylindrical form with a network of wrapped thread, that will denote a solenoid. Now here in place of thread it is nothing but a copper wire. A coil of many turns. I told you, you have to wind the thread around your finger. So here it is many turns of insulated copper wire. Insulated means the copper wire is present with an insulation on it, wrapped in the shape of a cylinder. You can see here this lines which are wrapped in the form of a cylinder, that is called a solenoid. You can get a definition of solenoid in the exam. Define a solenoid or a fill-up. A coil of many turns of insulated copper wire wrapped in the shape of a cylinder is called a dash. Now, we are going to see how the magnetic field is produced due to the current in this solenoid. Whenever an electric current passes through a solenoid, again you can see here an electric circuit is there, a plug key, a cell which is a source of electricity. Whenever an electric current passes through a solenoid, magnetic lines of force are produced. This is same in the case of circular loop also, in the case of solenoid also. Whenever current flows, then magnetic lines of force are produced. Now, very important is the properties of the magnetic field of a solenoid are very similar to the magnetic field which is produced by a bar magnet. All of you know what is a bar magnet. A magnet in a form of a rectangle having two poles, north pole and south pole. So here you can see there are two poles, north pole and south pole. What is the similarity in the magnetic field? That the properties of magnetic field which is produced by a bar magnet and which is produced by a solenoid, both are same. Why they are same? Because one of the open ends of the solenoid, it acts as the magnetic north pole and the other acts as the magnetic south pole. All of you keep the bar magnet in front of your eyes and you will understand which are the two poles. And how here also solenoid, you can see one end it acts as the north pole, other acts as the south pole. Now, the magnetic lines of force inside the solenoid, they are parallel to each other. You can see inside the solenoid, this dark black colored lines inside the solenoid, they are parallel to each other. What does this mean? This means that the intensity of the magnetic field, the strength of the magnetic field within the solenoid is uniform everywhere. That is, the magnetic field in a solenoid is uniform. What is the result? The result is that the magnetic field which is produced in a solenoid is uniform. Why? Because the magnetic lines of force inside the solenoid are parallel to each other. So what is the main thing? Now here different types of questions are expected in the previous topic which we have studied. They can give you a setup of a circular. We will just go behind. Here you can see they can give you this setup and they can ask different questions. The intensity of magnetic field depends on what? What will mean that there are if n turns of loop in the wire. For the next experiment here for the solenoid, they can give you this diagram in the exam and they can ask you what is a solenoid? What are the properties of magnetic field produced in a solenoid? How is the magnetic field produced in a solenoid? So based on the diagram, you should be ready to answer all the questions, or they can even ask why the properties of magnetic field of a solenoid is similar to the magnetic field produced by a bar magnet. Why? Because one end acts as the north pole, other end acts as the south pole. So all these answers should be ready. So keep in mind that you don't have to write all this concept one after the other. You have to learn it by looking at the diagram. In different ways question can be asked in the exam. Now next is force acting on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. Force here, last year you have studied Newton's third law of motion. Same slightly concept you are going to apply over here. For this setup, you have to take certain materials, a flexible copper wire, a stand, you can see this stand, a horseshoe magnet with a strong magnetic field. Procedure is, using the stand, fix the copper wire, you can see the copper wire here, so that it passes through the poles of the horseshoe magnet. These are the two poles, north and south. So using this stand, you have to fix the copper wire so that it passes through the poles of the horseshoe magnet as shown in this figure, and then connect the circuit. Now, whenever a current is not flowing through the wire, when the cell is not supplying any current through the wire, it remains straight. It means the wire, the copper wire, you can see here in the between, it remains straight. That is at position A. You can see these positions are there. This is position A, this is B, and this is position C. So when a current is not flowing through the wire, it remains straight. When the current flows from top to bottom, the wire bends and comes into position C. When the current direction is reversed, that is, it flows from bottom to the top. See, three cases are there. First case, when the current is not flowing through the wire, when the current is flowing from top to bottom, and when the current flows from bottom to the top, the wire bends but comes in position B. Now it has come in position B. What does this mean? The direction of the force on the wire is perpendicular to both the magnetic field which is produced and the direction of the current. Here, the direction of magnetic field is from north to south. It is noted that whenever current flows through a conductor, in the presence of magnetic field, a force is exerted on the conductor. If you take your hand and just press it on a book or a pillow, what happens? A force is exerted on that pillow, on that whatever object you are placing it. If the direction of current is reversed, the direction of force also gets reversed. As soon as you try to remove your hand away, the direction of force from the pillow, from the object, will also get reversed. So what it is clearly seen here, that the force is exerted on the current carrying conductor. The direction of this force, it depends on two conditions. One is the direction of current and the direction of the magnetic field. Newton's third law of motion: to every action there is equal and opposite reaction. Forget about action reaction, but when you are applying any force, what happens? It depends on two different concepts. One is the direction of your applied force. Here it depends on, this force depends on the direction of current and the direction of the magnetic field which is produced. Here also they can ask you various questions. They can give you this diagrammatic setup, experimental setup, and they can ask which type of magnet is used over here, which type of wire is used, then what are the positions seen when the current flows from top to bottom, from bottom to top, when there is no current flowing through the wire. So you have to give the answers for each and every question. What they can ask, what happens if the direction of current is reversed? Is there any effect on the direction of the force? You should say yes. If the direction of current is reversed, the direction of force also gets reversed. One more question can be asked: which are the conditions on which the direction of this force depend? It depends on direction of the current and direction of magnetic field. Based on this, we are going to study one more rule, that is Fleming's left hand rule. Fleming's left hand rule. Just now we have studied the right hand thumb rule. In the beginning of our today's session, we have studied right hand thumb rule. Total 3 rules are there in this chapter. One is right hand thumb rule, one is Fleming's left hand rule, and ahead we have Fleming's right hand rule. So for the left hand rule, you have to naturally take your left hand. So according to Fleming's left hand rule, the left hand thumb, index finger and the middle finger are stretched so that they are mutually perpendicular to each other. You can see here an angle of 90 degree mutually. Don't bend your fingers in such a way that they may get damaged. So the arrangement of the thumb, here the word left hand is very important. Students hastily or in a hurry, they write the entire rule correctly, but they forget to write the word left hand. Look at the question. Whenever it is left hand, you have to compulsory maintain, you have to mention that the left hand thumb. So according to Fleming's left hand rule, the thumb, the index finger and the middle finger are stretched so that they are mutually perpendicular to each other. Now here this index finger is showing the direction of magnetic field. The index finger is in the direction of magnetic field. The middle finger points in the direction of current, whereas the direction of thumb is the direction of force on the current carrying conductor. There in the right hand thumb rule, what we have seen, the thumb points in the direction of current. Here the direction of the thumb is the direction of force on the conductor. Here who is in the direction of current? The middle finger points in the direction of current. So what does the Fleming's left hand rule state? Your thumb shows, where is your thumb? The thumb, it points in the direction of force on the conductor. Index finger shows the direction of magnetic field and the middle finger points in the direction of current. Now while writing any rule, you should be very specific. If by mistake you write anything in a jumbled way, then your entire rule will not give you any marks. If you say, teacher, index finger is in the direction of magnetic field, I have written correctly. But middle finger you show the direction of force, and thumb if you show the direction of current, then your full rule will get a 0. So take care about it when you are writing any of the rules from this chapter. So here we end with our today's session. In today's session, we have studied 2 rules. One is right hand thumb rule and one is Fleming's left hand rule. And we have studied the magnetic effect of electric current. In our next session, we are going to study two different concepts which are related to our day-to-day life. Very, very important, very interesting. One is electric motor and the other is electric generator. Thank you, dear children.